Okay, so for deductive reasoning for my class, they do kind of a weakened version of it. They're only looking at the difference between deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. There's definitely more to deep dive into it. So if you're kind of a person watching from the YouTube area, um, I will eventually go back into it when I get all these things done for my students, and I kind of expand on everything. Um, but right now, what is deductive reasoning? Well, kind of the layman's terms is it's basically reasoning based directly on facts. So not a pattern. Which makes it really hard because it's depending on how you look at something, it could be deductive or inductive, um, based on what you're looking at. But just some examples of deductive reasoning: all snakes lay eggs. Chicken also lays an egg. Chickens must therefore be a snake. Um, yeah, one of my students cringed on that because he's like, "That's not true." I said, "Yeah, I know, but deductively it makes sense." Um, Deductive reasoning doesn't always, deductive logic isn't always, it's always logical, but it's not always rational. But logically speaking, that is a good sentence. I like to go back to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, his whole thing about equating a a woman to a duck. So if she weighs about the duck, weighs the same weight as a duck, she must be a witch and therefore needs to be burned. That's an example of deductive reasoning because it makes sound logic. It's just not a rational logic. But the other one is Mark does study for the algebra test, and he gets a passing grade. He also didn't study for the English test and got a passing grade. Mark concludes that he will pass any test if he does not study. So the moral of the story is just that deductive reasoning is based off of facts that you see um, right there in front of you. Okay, so what's the difference between inductive and deductive? Well, we kind of already talked about it. Inductive is pattern based, deductive is fact based. So, for instance, a chemist experiments products that same result 20 times. You conclude that it will always produce the same result. So you could kind of say this might be inductive because he's doing it 20 times, but it's really a deductive reasoning just because it's the fact that he is working on it. You could it's a fact that he got it, that you are getting it off the chemist. So you are basing it off the chemist's work. You are deducing it, kind of like Sherlock Holmes. Um, yeah, some of these can be really, really hard to deduce, for lack of a better word. Which is why sometimes, as long as my students explain themselves, I'm pretty good with giving them the points regardless. Tim is Veronica's cousin. Since David is Veronica's twin brother, Tim is also David's cousin. This is definitely deductive reasoning. This is directly based off the fact that both Tim is Veronica's cousin and David is Veronica's twin brother. So they're all based off of facts. Let's put based off of facts from the family. Okay. The school library notices that many students are requesting books about different countries in Africa. The library concludes that one of the social studies classes must be studying about Africa. This is a deductive again. She deduces from the fact that people are taking books about Africa that she is that there's some kind of project going about Africa. we got a fact. Julie notices that each term in the sequence 1, 3, 9, 27. I don't even really have to finish this one. This is inductive. You can see that it is based off of a pattern. Again, another pattern. Given the sequence 19, 23, 27, and 31, you conclude the next term will be 35. Again, this is inductive. We know that all men are mortals since John is mortal. Since John is a man, John is immortal. That is deductive. This is due to the fact that all men are mortal. Okay, and then finally, all people that you met in town are strange. You conclude that everyone in town is strange. Again, this is deductive. You are deducing from what you see. That people are strange. And that's it.